Crow, is she finished? Is my waifu finally finished?
I'm almost done, Steve.
Stephanie, it's me, Steve. Please, say something.
I'm sorry, Steve. She's not alive.
It was worth a shot.
Hello YouTube, it's Kurosama, and here we have today from the Kotobukiya line, from the Megami device line, is the Kaede Agatsuma, basically a Alice Gear Aegis, pretty much a game character. I never played it before, but she is from the Alice Gear Aegis game, and this is like a collaboration with that game with Kotobukiya. So very, very cool looking kit, and unfortunately this game is not available in my country. I could definitely bypass it by just getting like the APK file and playing it, but I got a lot of other games I'm playing right now, so I'm not really too focused on it. But I did see some trailers online, and it looks like a really good game. So if you are out there and you have the game available to your country, or you're just gonna go ahead and bypass it and get it anyways, I definitely encourage you to go ahead and pick it up. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this kit. So we're taking a look at the base form, essentially without all the armor. There's definitely going to be a lot of great detail in this kit. So we're taking a look at the head sculpt first. Overall, like, it looks really good. The hair has like a nice little flow to it. Doesn't look just like kind of plain and static. Has not like pretty much a lot of different I guess hair strands kind of just like forming out, and it looks really good overall. And there's also going to be some level of articulation right here on the back of the hair, so if you want her to kind of look as if the hair is flowing, but it doesn't really look that great because this part's still kind of flat, but nonetheless it's still a pretty good addition. Now you are going to get different types of facial expressions, so this one is going to be a normal expression. Next, this one is essentially the same expression, but the eyes are going to be looking a little bit to the left. And the other faceplate is going to be a screaming one, but she's looking a little bit to the right. And we're looking at the body and the arms. Looks pretty good. Very, very slender waist. Overall, really great design. Very similar to the Frame Arms girls. So, I mean, obviously there's going to be similarities because it is the same maker. But yeah, looks pretty good overall. And there's going to be a lot of already pretty much molded color pieces. So like these shoulder blade parts, these are already molded in that like red and the flesh color. And also right down here, these the butt and the front pelvis like plates, these are already going to be molded in that red, black flesh and then white panties. So you ain't gonna have to worry about painting all that, which is really good. And you really have a sense of higher production quality when it comes to these kids, feisty Frame Arms girls, because a lot of these you would either have water slide decals or you would have to paint it all yourself. But there is still some missing applications. So like right here above the chest is essentially going to be white that you need to paint, or you can go ahead and use the water slide that comes with it. But I do believe the chest plate is going to be replaced, so you ain't really got to worry too much about that. And we're looking at the legs. Nothing really too special about the legs. You're just gonna have this nice glossy white down here, and then the flesh color and this like little black piece that is right there. So looks pretty good. I actually really enjoy this. Now, kind of just looking at some of the level of detail. Like there's not gonna be any like panel lines or anything crazy like that. It's almost as if like this is like a real girl. Now I know the Frame Arms girls are usually like more mecha oriented, and this one's gonna have the outer armor and everything, but just kind of looking at this, I think the Megami devices are actually just like real girls, and then they just put like the armor on top of the main body itself. So she's not like a mecha, she's just she has basically like latex stockings or something like that. I don't know, like skin tight stockings and shoes. Then that's pretty much it. So it's a little bit different than the Frame Arms girls, I guess, in terms of lore, but they look pretty good overall. Okay, so let's go ahead and start taking a look at the hands that comes with the kit. You get some fists, you get these like accessory holding hands, these open hands, these open hands, these pointing fingers, and lastly, more of an open hand that has the fingers a little bit more close together. Now you actually do get some other hands, but these are actually going to have the little peg piece already in there, so it's just kind of just a part of the hand, and they're the same thing. You already have these hands just without this little peg piece already conjoined to it. Okay, so we're taking a look at the articulation. The head is going to be on like this little ball joint, but it can also move up and down with this little piece right there in the neck. Hair can go back and forth. It's going to be on a ball joint, so it can pretty much swivel all the way around. The base of the neck right here is also going to have a little joint, so that can also move pretty much like pretty far, to be honest. The shoulders can also rotate like this, and right here this can also pretty much rotate out pretty far, but the problem I have is like if you try and move it on the base of the shoulder, it's going to pop off a little bit, so you just have to be pretty careful. Rotation at the bicep. 1 point of articulation right here at the elbow, and that's not too bad. If you're already used to Figmas, you probably already know about these, or if you're kind of used to the frame arms girls, so these are going to have its own little articulation right there. The upper part of the torso is also going to be on a little ball joint. The hips can move pretty much forward that much and backwards about that much. Legs can move forward, outwards about that much, and backwards not really so much. Rotation on the thigh. 2 points of articulation right here, so the first one going that far and the second one going that far, and there's also going to be kind of like a way to go ahead and put the calf right inside of the thigh like so. And for the feet, they can go forward pretty far, but the peg that connects inside the foot is relatively loose, so this actually just pops out very easily, so you may have to go ahead and toughen the friction up with that joint. This can also move all the way around, but yeah, it's gonna be kind of loose. And lastly, there is a toe bend right there. Okay, so before we get into the armor parts review, I definitely want to go ahead and show y'all the water slide decal sheet. I was going to go ahead and use it, but I just did not have enough time, and I really want to push this review out for you guys. But if you go ahead and check me out on Instagram or any other social media platform, I will have pics with these on this kit posted on there. So let's start reviewing the armor parts. The first thing we're going to take a look at is going to be the head. Now you are going to get these little rabbit ear parts that just connect to the head, and that's pretty much going to be it. The rest of the head itself is going to be the same. Now the neck, you're going to have a different part right there, which is going to be this all black piece with a little white piece that connects right there. So it's kind of like a little neck scarf, or kind of like a turtleneck and chain kind of thing going on, but looks pretty good nonetheless. Next we're going to have is the bust. The bust is relatively the same, except for it's going to have these two almost like square-like objects right there on the top. Next we're going to take a look at the arm. Just a lot of major differences. So you're going to have this little white piece that has its own little swivel right there on the bicep. But this little piece connects right there, and the arm itself is really nice, much like the normal arm part that comes with it. Then you're going to have this kind of like, I don't know what it is, like a forearm guard, but yeah, that's going to be a piece that just kind of covers a little bit over the hand, but nonetheless, it's just going to be these little black pieces that are very, pretty much similar to the regular flesh colored parts. Okay, we're looking at the waist. You're basically going to get like this little skirt part, so all this black on the side, the white in the front, that's all going to be pretty much all new parts. Now the back side, the back with like the little red panties and everything, this is going to be the same, but the front panties is going to be different. It's just going to have like a couple peg holes, so you can go ahead and plug this white cloth right there in front. And we're looking at the legs. Legs are going to be vastly different. So a lot of bulk that's going to be put into these. The overall like posability is relatively the same. One of the major differences, you're going to have these like flaps right here, and they come out, and it's almost like pretty much like stabilizers, I would say. So maybe when she's flying around, she could plop these open and maybe glide more, or they just help her, stabilize herself while in the air. But they actually pop off very easily, as you can see right there. It took me like no force, whatsoever. Still pretty good. And the feet, I think the feet are going to be a little bit better when it comes to stabilizing poses upright instead of using the stand. But nonetheless, it is actually pretty cool. So we're taking a look at the backpack, which I wouldn't even call it a backpack. I think the clear blue, I don't know, I think this is like energy that connects to the girl. and she basically uses these as funnels. Now I'm just not too sure. It looks like as if they're funnels because if you look in the manual or you look on the cover art, the blue is non-existent. It's basically these two little funnel pieces that are floating behind her. So that's pretty much what I'm guessing it is, because I don't see the blue anywhere. So it's probably just energy that radiates from her to keep these close. Not too really sure about the lore, but yeah, that's what I'm kind of guessing it is. And then you're gonna have this little like thruster piece right here. Now this is also gonna be something that just trails behind her, but it does have an extra effect part that's gonna come here, which we'll go ahead and show shortly. Now for articulation, you are gonna be able to move these. Basically they're like Gatling guns, so you can move this one down at the bottom. And then this one right here, you're gonna be able to move this one forward as well. I'll probably just slightly bend that to where it's a little bit more diagonal. But this is actually gonna be where the effect parts will plug into. And just like that, you have some nice little effect parts to go on these little turrets. I guess, I don't know if you're gonna call it like Gatling guns or whatever, but they're little extra weapons that's gonna be connected to these extra little funnel pieces. Now for this part you're just gonna go ahead and take off completely. And it's gonna come with this extra black part that basically allows you to plug right in there, but also plug in the thruster effects right there at the bottom. Now when it comes to articulation, you're gonna have a lot of different movement. So this part can basically go up and down. This part right here can also go basically in a full 360 if you can go ahead and maneuver it correctly. This part can move back and forth. And then the peg piece will allow the funnel to go ahead and rotate all the way around. And connecting the backpack to the actual kit itself is relatively easy. Now you will get 3 more thruster effect parts, but you're only gonna have a use for 2 more of them. And the way we're gonna use them is just plugging them right there in the back of the leg, like so. And one thing I can tell you is that the thruster effects look super cool and just adds that overall level of depth to the kit itself. Now for her melee attacks, you are gonna have this nice little translucent blue for the beam saber. Pretty awesome. I love the curvature of the hilt. Pretty much looks good. You got a like little white part right here, and you definitely can probably paint some of that inside there. I would say red would probably look really good, but nonetheless this is a very nice looking sword for the kit. And to equip it, all you're gonna do is take the hand, kind of just grip it around, and voila. And with the sword in hand, she looks ready for battle. Overall, I'm loving the aesthetic of this pose. I just absolutely love the Megami device. I love the frame arms girls because they just have a lot of facial expression and you can pull off lots of dynamic poses with them. And in this case, this kit is no exception. And next what we're gonna have is what I can assume to be a beam rifle. Now it does look like, I don't know if this is maybe this bottom part is probably like a flamethrower. It kind of looks like maybe there's a little torch that lights up right here, and then this sprouts out all the gasoline and it just makes the flames pop out. But that's just kind of my assumption because once again I haven't played the game and I haven't done any research because I don't know. It's like I would prefer to consult with the community because usually y'all are really good at correcting me on some certain things. So if you could let me know exactly what this weapon does in the game, that'd be greatly appreciated. But ultimately, this little gun just looks super cool. It's very detailed. There are going to be some nice little decals, some water slides that are going to be attached to it. But once again, I didn't do it, but I will eventually, especially after I play Pokemon Let's Go for a little bit. But yeah, I'll go ahead and put those decals on there, do some panel lining, and some other detailing, and I'll go ahead and post that online. And the way you want to connect this is pretty much the hand I use, the one that has the finger straight and off the trigger, because you got to practice your weapon safety rules at all times. You don't want it to be just resting on the trigger unless you're intending to fire. So looks really good. That's pretty stable, and this hand in particular already has like the little connecting piece pretty much molded into the hand. So it's up to you if you want to use the one that's already straight or you want to use the one that can kind of bend around. You do have that option. And with the rifle attached, it looks super awesome. So the effect parts that you see right here, they can actually be mounted onto the barrel, but you're gonna have to remove this little front piece right there if you want the attachment to go ahead and be solid. If not, it's not gonna be able to stay put, so you would have to do a little bit of editing, but nonetheless, it looks super awesome, just kind of like full firepower over in that direction. And I think she just has like some really good overall aesthetics when it comes to using weapons like this. Okay, so I completely forgot that there is going to be a connection point right here that comes with the kit to extend the barrel to allow you to use the effect part. So I do apologize on that. I completely forgot about that part. But yeah, you can definitely go ahead and use this weapon with this effect part. And here we have is a giant energy cannon of sorts. So it looks really cool, and it has like these removable batteries that go underneath it, or like energy cartridges, however you want to go ahead and call it. But it looks really solid. I just love the overall looks of it. So yeah, it has all these multiple different holes right here. So I'm pretty sure a lot of these can just be used in order to add maybe accessories to it. So if you want to add if you want to attach it to the arm, attach it to the back or something like that, you can definitely go ahead and utilize different connecting points to go ahead and, you know, achieve that if you want. And the front looks pretty good as well. And connecting it is going to be the same as the beam rifle. Just going to go ahead and put the hand like that. It's going to be a little bit loose. I tried a couple of the hands, but it seems like this is going to be your best bet. Now when connecting the weapon, it's going to be not as tricky, but you can basically put that on right there. But the problem is it's not going to have a solid connection to the forearm itself. So what you're going to have to do is take this little extra piece that comes with it, and you're going to want to plug it into the weapon itself. And then this is going to connect onto the arm. So it just kind of lets it be a little more stable. But another thing you're going to have to note is that it's going to be heavy. So you're gonna have to just do your best in making that little nice sweet spot for it to hold the weapon. Now if you want to go ahead and add another effect part to this rifle, all you're gonna do is utilize this little piece that comes with the kit and then attach the effect part right there. And just like that, she is ready for all the bug hunts. So I think this is a stupid awesome weapon to have on her. Probably gonna be my permanent weapon to use. I do like the beam saber a lot. But just this massive beam cannon looks super awesome. So yeah, this would probably be like one of my poses I'm gonna just go ahead and stick with. But nonetheless, let's move on to the pros and cons of this kit. Okay, so to start with the pros, overall the aesthetics, I cannot harp on that enough. It looks super cool. It's something that I'm really going to be very proud to display on my shelf. And this is without painting, this is without panel line, this is without decals of any type, and she still looks really awesome. So I'm pretty stoked to go ahead and, you know, panel line her, and definitely go ahead and throw on some water slides, maybe even a little bit of weathering here and there, but nonetheless, she's gonna look super awesome on the shelf, just aesthetic wise. The weapons that comes with her, I love the beam saber, I love the giant beam cannon. The rifle's okay, but I still love the weapons overall. And then the effect parts, man, they're so cool. Whether it comes to the ones that are shooting or the thrusters, just solid. Also, she is going to have parts to where she can be swappable with the frame arms girl. So if you want to change the head or anything of like the frame arms girl to the Megami device, you're going to have connection points that can definitely do that. But for the most part, these kits are going to be very similar, and you can definitely interchange a lot of parts, especially since they're both made by Kotobukiya, and they're going to be supported by both of the extra weapons parts that comes with the Kotobukiya line. Okay, so moving on to the cons. Well, it's not really too many. I would say the biggest con on this kit is going to be the parts that fly off with just a minor touch. So I can easily point out some of the things, which would be like the front little part right there on the rifle. Sometimes the actual funnels themselves will pop off. Parts of the little thrusters, they will pop off. And I would say like this thing just falls off fairly easily, but it really depends on how you're handling it. And there's some small stuff here and there. Really gets in the way, and it's I'm not gonna say it's hard to pose, because it's actually pretty easy to pose, but sometimes it becomes troublesome when you're trying to put in that exact pose that you want, but then parts start flying off and the stand itself is kind of wobbly. So you're gonna have to probably get a better stand if you want some better poses. But I'm still very thankful it comes with a pose, and I should have put that in one of my pros, that it comes with a stand to pose it with. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. No other cons I can think of. So that's pretty much about it, guys. Definitely thank y'all for watching. I would say if you want to pick up this kit, probably going to be your best bet is to maybe get a cheaper version, because this one's coming in at about $70 to $80, because I think it retails about 7,500 yen. Super expensive, but I think what you're buying is good quality plastic and a good quality kit overall, with lots of accessories, lots of things that's coming with this. So your money is going towards quality. But maybe get something like the Architect, get something a little bit cheaper, just to go ahead and start you off, and then maybe whenever you feel a little more comfortable in the line, go ahead and pick this girl up. But that's it, guys. There's no more I can really say, but like, once again, please follow me on my different social media platforms such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, so that way you'll see the actual completed kit. I just wanted to go ahead and put this out there because I will be playing Let's Go Pikachu pretty soon, and I didn't want to go ahead and starve you out of the review. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. Ring that bell right there next to the subscribe button for future notifications, such as post videos, reviews, unboxings, and live streams. And like always, guys, thank you for watching. I'll be seeing y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.